No.
Things are gonna get easier.
Stop.
Ooh, things will get brighter.
Welcome to Taps and Takes.
Ooh, child.
Round 2, Elliott.
Well, no, it's still.
They don't know.
It's still Tuesday. Optical
not.
illusion.
It's not. First
You're
of all,
right. It's Friday.
It's Friday. Welcome to Taps and Takes, where we talk all that nerd news, all that sports news, live from Groggs, baby, the traditional Irish pub, the only one you need to know.
The coolest.
You know,
pub.
You can come in here, you can get food, you can get that JMO, you can get that Guinness in your system, and we have the man himself, Royce. What's up, Royce?
Hi.
Royce, I dubbed the king.
He is the owner, operator, and also the man of Groggs. And let me prove to you why you are the man.
Oh, geez.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up here.
You know,
okay. While
we're waiting, I do think it's funny. Our hairlines are like Pokemon. You know, you've got like the first stage, the second stage, and then the third stage.
So Royce's name in my phone is Royce the Man.
Oh, well, thank you.
Look at that. Royce the Man. That is confirmed, Elliott.
Confirmed.
Round of applause for Royce. Oh,
you never set that up.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's your fault. Yeah! Now, I'm going to go ahead and just talk about something real quick before we get started, okay? And I don't want to make it awkward, seeming that this is the first time you're sitting with us.
I feel like you're going to make it awkward.
Well, I mean, I have to point something out. We have already done this podcast.
Well, a few times.
No.
Yeah.
This actual episode.
No.
This very episode we've already done.
No.
So I'm sure we're going to talk about this ad nauseum in the next episode of the Do Over podcast. So I'm not going to go into it right now.
Sounds like you want to go into it right now.
I'm not. But just know that we had a nice extended episode of Taps and Takes that we did yesterday. And Elliott decided to just yank a cord out of a power supply and it fucked the footage like ridiculously.
To be fair, it was only half the footage. And to make it even more fair, it was my footage. Yeah. So you were fine. So there was a discussion whether or not it's just my angle with the audio. Or we go audio only, but was like, no, you know what? Let's take this as an opportunity to get Royce the Man here. Yeah, because he's been ducking us for a year now. Well, no, we've talked about having Royce on. It makes sense to me. Now, Royce, yeah, listen, you do have some nerd cred. You're an avid reader. He's a dork.
I do read.
You are a reader. Now, finding readers is like less and less and less these days because the attention span is kind of. So what do you like to read?
It depends.
Manga.
I've got 3 right now. One is taking. Okay. So
let's step back.
I was like, you know, New Year's stuff. And I don't go down the road of like, life-changing resolutions, but right. I'm gonna get some books this year under my belt. And so I started, I think I told you, The Talisman by Stephen King, because I'd read a lot of Stephen King, but I never. It's dense. It's so rough. So last night, I turned page 300. I am reading this book, like a chapter a night or a couple pages a night since January. Oh, dude. The book is 670 pages. I was gonna say, I'm not even like halfway through. It's, okay. It's taking forever. It's the journey. It's the journey. It's a long journey. It's so meandering. My legs are so tired from this journey. One of the early things that me and Royce clicked on was our love of the Dark Tower series. Like, wonderful. That's probably my favorite series of books of all time. How a movie with Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey flopped. Dude, that was just ill-conceived from the start. It was terrible. It was so bad. Hey, I'm a bad guy. Yeah. Pew, pew, gonna get you, gunslinger. It was not done with the respect that it would have deserved because of how dense, I don't want to be redundant and use the word dense, but like how intricate that story is from start to finish. Absolutely. And it's like the original idea was like to do a movie and then like a 10 episode like series on HBO, and then another movie, and then another 10 episode series. Because I think it was Ron Howard that had optioned it I think like 15 years ago. And he had it was a movie, a show, and then a trilogy. Because, Stephen King would come back to book 2 and book 3 after like 8-year hiatuses. Right. And then he'd insert characters and stuff from other books that he'd written during the hiatus. But when he hit book 5 at Wolves of the Call, he wrote 5, 6, and 7 back to back. And they all came out, I think, there was a year between each one of them. And so that they were going to take, once you kind of get like the backstory and stuff like that from the season, then they were just going to do a film trilogy, which literally the end of one movie, the next one would pick up at the end of that.
Would have been fantastic, but the problem with that is like the amount of money and time and investment other people that you need. And I think the Dark Tower is starting, but my whole point of this is that like Stephen King is one of those writers. Remember how we were talking yesterday on the footage that will never be aired about,
I mean, we'll just call those the Lost Files.
Well, that sci-fi and good fantasy, like what anime does well is kind of what good sci-fi is like, it's in the details. Like I firmly believe like good science fiction is in the little details that builds the world around it. Like these technologically advanced things or whatever their explanations are is what builds the world around it. King does something very similar, like how worlds work and the rules within those worlds. He's very down to the detail, but to get the same level of transfer over, the information transfer is kind of difficult.
Well, and not to mention, it's hard to do that series as itself because the whole, the concept is the tower is crumbling and the worlds are bleeding into each other. And you begin to realize that every one of Stephen King's, or a large majority of them, take place, yes, in a lot in Maine and in other places, but it starts to populate the Dark Tower series with these characters. And you realize each one of his stories is taking place in a different parallel universe.
Right.
And as the Dark Tower weakens, they begin to blend and bleed. And so you get Father Callahan from Salem's Lot, and
dude from The
Pen
Shining.
From another one.
Yeah. So all is to say, Royce he's understanding of the nerd news, the sports news.
He's a literature
bringing him
dork.
in, and we're going to get into it. Now, Elliott.
Now, Drew.
Are we going to pull any cords out today?
Don't tempt me. I know how.
If you want to know more explanation, I'm going to beat him up over it on the Twitch, twitch.tv/DDoOver podcast. After you watch this, go and check that out.
Just a little heads up. Not like a phone.
No, it's not like a phone.
Not like a phone.
No.
That's all I'm going to say.
Anyways, what stories we got this week, Doug?
Well, let's start with the biggest news. We've got The Last of Us Season 2 finale. Season 2 of The Last of Us is done. Some people, most people, all of us agree. Bit of a letdown from Season 1 for different reasons.
Okay. Let's get Royce's take on this. You're caught up.
I disagree with all of that.
Well, hang on a second.
Yeah, okay, good.
So hang on a second. Just hold your phone, man.
Just letting you know where I stand.
Damn, Gina. Okay, so season 2 finale had 3.7 million viewers the first night, Sunday night, right? 30% drop from the premiere and a 55% drop from the season 1 finale. Now, they have had about 37 million viewers globally watching this. So it is a huge success financially.
It's still a success.
And there were some great highs of season 2. Unfortunately, I think there were some very low lows of season 2. Royce, your thoughts?
Okay, first of all, I know a lot of people play the games. Yeah, a lot of people are gamers.
Yeah. Gamers confirmed.
Comparisons will always be made between the two. I don't. Okay. Game of Thrones. I watched like the first couple episodes and was already, I'm hooked. Okay.
Right.
And then I started to read the book because once you kind of get into the world a little bit, you're like, I need to know everything about everything.
Right.
And so I got through, I think it was like the first 20 pages of Game of Thrones, the first book. And I was like, nope.
Yep.
I like the show better.
Right.
Now,
don't read, kids. No, it ruins television.
That is one of, and I'm not saying that it's like that throughout the. I just knew that I can't remember another kind of water cooler show since then, because there was nothing out there for so long that you would go to work on Monday morning, or you would talk to your friend, and then you guys were talking about the episode, and then the theories would go around. And it's probably been since Lost that people had those conversations. And so I liked that, and I liked not knowing, because I liked the conversation that happens around it, and the wild theories, and especially if alcohol's involved, and people are like, well, of course,
and then the book readers are always trying to spoil it for everyone.
Actually, that's not how it goes in the book.
Well, okay, but it's a good. You're bringing up a good parallel, because they do have the games, and we spoke yesterday. I'm going to try not to continue to.
I feel like you're going to keep doing that, but that's okay. That's why we love you.
We were talking about like, okay, changes need to happen sometimes for adaptation. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
If it's done with care, that's fine. And also, if you like the original story better, you can always go and play the games because the games are never not going to exist, right?
And they're never not going to be remastered 20,000 times.
Right.
Yeah.
But my main issue with season 2, some of the dialogue was kind of cringe, but it is mainly that like it's almost like they're losing what Ellie was in the first game with the way that Bella Ramsey is portraying her, and also just how young she looks just kind of takes me out of it. like straight up.
Well, I have no comparison. So to me, the show is the only thing I know. So to me, it works because I'm not trying to compare her to whatever she is in the video game.
Right.
And I think I really like a lot of it. I feel like sometimes when you're watching something that you already know, you're kind of waiting for that next beat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Harry Potter movies, right? And I gobbled up the books. And so I'm waiting for these things to see if how I had created the vision of how it was going to go down in my mind, how it would match up against what was put before me on the screen. And it's always a disappointment with the exception of the battle room in the terrible adaptation of Ender's Game.
Yeah, I was going to say
that
Ender's
looked
Game.
exact. It was weird. It looked exactly like what it was in my mind. Well, and when you see the Lord of the Rings landscape in the original trilogy, you're like, that's just Middle Earth. I mean, but it's very rare that you hit that on the head with how it, plays in your mind. So I can enjoy Last of Us more because I'm not waiting for those next beats. Everything that happens to me is like, what just happened?
Yeah. That's it. That is a good take though, because he is bringing a unique perspective on this.
It's this, and this is true with everything. Orc put it in bold letters. Ignorance truly is bliss. Because this is your only understanding of The Last of Us, and you're loving it.
And that's great. Right. And I like that you.
It was like,
and I like it. Let me be clear. I rated the show like what, an 8? No, a 7. Compared to the first season.
Season 1 was a high 9 to a 10.
It is purely, I keep on getting, and it's not even me comparing it. Like, let's say if I can like pretend to just be completely ignorant of the games completely, right? It's just how young she looks that I like don't believe she's in an adult relationship. I don't believe that and it's not because she's a woman. It's because she looks like she's 14. And like it would be different if like her attitude changed. Like she'll have like within the series of the show, like she'll have a moment where she like gets like the bloodlust. It's kind of crazy. You know what I mean?
Thank you for ruining that for me.
What?
Now you've ruined the show.
What?
That she gets that.
No, I'm just saying like she'll get like crazy, like
like she's already been like a rage-filled monster that gets
like when she's beating the brakes off Nora.
But the kind of off moments of her being like, yeah, I'm gonna be a dad, and then like being like, oh, you stupid, how many we gonna kill? You know what I mean? Like the attitude, it's like there is no stakes. It feels like how she's just too like,
well, and it feels like this was her revenge trip. And then it turns into like a couple's retreat in a sense, because Dina feels more vindictive towards Abby's group.
Dina's character, like that actress,
fantastic. And
she's amazing.
She's so good. Dude. No, and I thought Jesse was fantastic, and he brought up a lot of like good, like moral dilemmas that Ellie ignored, frankly, with Tommy. And I thought Tommy was the star of the season. I wish we'd gotten more of him. I think we will in season 3. But for me, it just felt like episode 2, the Battle of Jackson, felt Game of Thrones-esque, right? It just felt bigger than life.
And you could see how hyped you were after that episode.
It was. It was. I think I turned to my wife and been like, this show has had, 10 episodes at that point? And two of them would be in probably the discussion for me top 10 episodes ever made.
That one was 2 or 3 of them, like and then I thought episode 6, or to Drew's point, where it follows like Joel and Ellie's relationship when she's younger, as they're getting used to Jackson and the birthdays and how their relationship starts to like stagnate and kind of drift apart. I thought was one of the best episodes of the season easily. It might have been my favorite episode because it really shows the drift and Joel trying to be better than his dad.
It's just tough because it is an excellent show. And I don't want to put it up against the original stuff. And I swear to God, I didn't ruin anything for you because
I was just joking.
Okay. I was like, oh shit, did I?
It's like if when it was on Sunday night, right? And so we didn't, my wife and I didn't watch it. I think we watched something else. And then Monday morning, I'm in my news feed and I abhor spoilers, right? So, but I'm trying to avert my eyes from like the 2-line word blurb on there because I know that if I stare at it for like at least half a full second, I've ruined it because all of these donuts, they have the ability to watch things the moment they're on.
Right.
And then,
I
have to talk about it and I have to tell everybody and I can't stand it.
I subscribe to heavy spoilers on YouTube. My name is Paul. And I love their content, but they must get early screeners of these things because the moment the episode drops, they drop their explanation video. And I'm like, can't fucking watch it.
Can't watch it yet.
It's so bad for me. Go back 12 years ago. I'm bartending at Jimbo's. I don't get out of there until 2 a.m. Sons of Anarchy is on the night that I'm working. And I don't know what time it was, like 10, right? So I'm going to go home and watch it.
Yeah.
And it was if I'm ruining this for anybody, it's been out for 12 years. Sorry. Yeah, it's the episode where Opie died.
Right.
And some
motherfucker
comes in and immediately says like, I can't believe they just killed Opie. And I'm like, I refuse to serve you. I am
the only thing I'm serving up is a pair of hands right here.
This guy. These hands. I was so seriously, I shut down. I can't. It drives me
What's
insane.
Even worse are the friends that specifically try to spoil shit for you.
Ooh,
like
those people suck.
Those aren't friends.
Yeah, one of my buddies used to do that all the time. He would just send me an article and I click on it and it's like
the recent Lost spoiler or something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, dude. So here's to say, shining marks from Royce. I think it's an excellent TV show.
Still good.
Still good.
Still very good.
It just, I think the portrayal is a little bit off character for and again, if I need like a purest version of this story, the games exist. You can go consume that and it's fine. I just hope that they kind of recalibrate a little bit and I'm interested to see what they'll do with the next season. Elliott, I think we see eye to eye on this. It's No,
it's good. And like I said earlier, the highs for me are very high. It's just some of the lows are the lowest of the series. Mm-hmm. I just don't know. I had 100% faith going into season 2. I'm at like 72% faith now.
It's still a good show.
Still a good show.
It's still a great show.
Still a good show.
Now, what else we got?
I know something you're really excited about. Oh, Elden Ring. Elden Ring is officially getting an A24 adaptation with director Alex Garland, the director of Warfare, Annihilation, Ex Machina. He's going to be taking the helms with George.
Don't you dare leave out Devs. Did you watch Devs?
No.
On FX? Oh, fucking watch it. It's so good. So, continue.
George R.R. Martin is set to produce because he will literally do anything other than finish his books.
Yep.
So, stacked production team. A24 doesn't typically miss, if ever. So we're excited.
Here's my 2 cents on this. If they put the right money behind Elden Ring, it will be their first $1 billion movie. Elden Ring's gigantic. Gigantic. Now, do you know anything of Elden Ring?
It's a video game.
Correct.
Okay. So, okay, good.
You've got
and I'm assuming it's fantasy based.
It's
also correct.
Elden Ring. It's dark fantasy, a la Berserk. You know what I mean? It's Dark Souls-esque. Do you know the Dark Souls games, like how they look? Yeah, the video
correct.
Game. So
2 for 2.
Or put buzzers on them.
The director of those games, Miyazaki-san, he has a very specific type of artistic style when it comes to all their games. Like you look at a FromSoft game, that's the name of the company.
It's beautiful, but
it's gorgeous, but gross and dark, right?
Yeah.
Now, what I'm saying, Alex Garland is the exact right person to do this because Alex Garland can zero in on the nerd of it all and why something is cool and beloved and really execute that. And like he understands these properties, working with George R.R. Martin, who built the whole world. Excellent. Because how FromSoft, since you don't know, okay.
One question real fast.
Yes.
When you say Martin built the world, did he
So
he helped write the video game?
He wrote the whole.
Oh,
he was a big part of writing the lore and the whole setting of Elden Ring.
That's cool. He basically brought the whole setting and the lore and he brought it to FromSoft and they created a game around it. So what it is, and I'm without getting into the story beats, which, is typical FromSoft. It's very convoluted, but they don't piecemeal you, or I should say they piecemeal you the story through like item descriptions and like little things here and there.
Yeah.
And people have to piece it together. It's not like a linear story in which they just tell you.
Yeah. There's not like a straight story like cutscenes or anything. It's you go, you find something, you read what it does or how it helps you. And you're like, oh,
and
okay,
you start putting two and two together.
Right.
Like who's that person that had this? Now I have it. It's a little bit of legwork, but there's a lot of people that do that online for you. The lore of Elden Ring. If you're not going to play the game, I'll send you a link so you can watch the whole thing. It's great. It's awesome. And it's beautiful. They have to put a good amount of money because A24 is known as being like a very artsy studio.
Yeah.
They take a lot of art projects.
They're like the upper echelon of indie film creation.
They are fantastic movie developers. I want to see them do this so right, because if they do it right, it'll be so sick, dude. It will be so tight if they do it correctly. And I believe in Alex Garland, but
for sure.
The big thing is that I didn't see that Miyazaki was involved in this at all, which kind of concerns me because he is one of the biggest like visionaries when it comes to the way it looks.
Right. My thing is, and I know you'll probably have to use CGI at some point in this film.
Dude, all through that film.
Right. I'm hoping they really emphasize the practical effects of the monsters, the creatures, the villains or bosses, because this property is so creatively, like beautifully gross. Practical effects specialists could make this really special.
Can I have a hot take here, Royce? And I'm not going to say this because there is like people on the internet that are like, everything needs to be practical. The truth is that it needs to be 50-50. I mean, some practical effects with some CG effects, right? Married together. You don't want it too CG heavy. You don't want it too practical heavy. Because if it's not done extremely well, it will throw you out of the whole fucking movie.
You can tell the difference between really well done CGI and Rogue One Princess Leia.
Yeah.
Travesty, just a dumpster fire.
Not great.
CGI got
not
wrong.
The best.
Young Harrison Ford in the most recent Indiana Jones, fantastic.
Was it?
It was. I mean, I'm sure that if you're putting it under a microscope, you're gonna be like,
it kind of falls apart.
But for the most part, if you're just casually watching it, which that last one wasn't that great, so you should only casually watch it. Oh, it was great. Like the first 25 minutes of it is a young Harrison Ford.
No way.
Flashback.
And it's done that well.
I thought it was both my wife and I, as just casual movie watchers, said that was amazing. That was
Indiana Jones.
The CGI was that good. It was that believable enough. It didn't look like a terrible, just fake person.
Right.
Or like Michael Douglas in the early scenes of Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Where they de-age him. Oh, they're such an amazing job. So CGI can be done well, and not so well.
Right. And I think a mixing of the two is really where you'll get a really good effect. But you don't want it, you know what I mean? But dude, there's going to have to be CG through that whole thing. There's no way they can recreate the way that game looks, dude.
No, I think for maybe like some of the bigger monsters and challenges that the Tarnish has to deal with, sure. I just mean like there's going to be a lot of things that go on in that game that are human sized that I feel like you should really emphasize the practical effects because that'll just help it pop.
Right.
My last thing about that is do they put a cameo in for Let Me Solo?
Yes, they should.
They should.
So there's a meme. There's an online meme of arguably the hardest boss in the original Elden Ring release is this chick named Melania, who is the Blade of Mikola, and she just fucks you up. Like and
the whole game messes you up, but her especially. And there's this dude, and one of the multiplayer mechanics of FromSoft games is that you can summon other players to help you. Right, like
actual
if you
players.
Yes, if you really suck, you can summon players to fight by your side.
To if you cannot beat a boss, you can summon someone to help you fight. There's this one legend called Let Me Solo Her. That's his name. And you summon him and you just stand there and he goes and he beats the shit out of her for you. He's done this like 1,000 times.
And he's beaten all the bosses. So now you can summon him for, I think, every boss. And he's just like, let me solo the game.
But is he actually doing it? Like, does he just sit in front of his computer waiting to be summoned like a demon from hell?
Pretty much,
So how it works now, if he's beaten them, I think it saves, and then you can use your save as a way of like summoning him. So if he's already beaten her, you can summon his like progress, and then he just walks in and does work.
It's funnier than shit. And he wears a pod on his head and underwear and carries like a knife.
And he
just goes and beats it. He's that good at the game that he just goes and beats. They have to have.
They got to give him a cameo. Legend of a Soloer.
So let's talk about some Doom Dark Ages.
Okay.
Real quick.
Not only does it look perfect, it might just be perfect. The game's awesome.
It's super metal. And it's the good kind of metal where it's like everything is like dark fantasy. And you have, there's a gun. There's a gun that you have that crushes skulls and shoots them at your enemies like in rotation. And the music is so sick. It's so dark metal. I love it. I love the aesthetic. Now, I have not been able to play this game because you know my life, Elliott.
Yeah, I mean, I just got back from vacation, so I played a little bit, and God, is it fun. It is. It might be my game of the year. Granted, I don't play a lot of games.
You don't play a lot of games.
I don't play a lot of games, but the games I am playing, it's probably my favorite, and you just feel unstoppable.
Yeah.
And I'm only one chapter in. And
that's kind of the point.
And you're shield bashing demons in half, and you're kicking monsters 500
You're like going into hell and killing demons. Like, it's so metal, dude.
Well, and like
you're like a running tank.
Did you ever watch the original Evil Dead trilogy?
Yes.
So you know the third one where he goes like back in time and there's like the medieval aspect to it?
You mean Army of Darkness?
Barely. Wait, okay. So there was Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, and then there was
three. There was Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, where he goes back to the...
no, I thought the second one was Army of Darkness.
No, that's the third.
Okay, so yes.
So Army of Darkness.
He gets sent back in time in the second one, and then he wakes up in like the medieval times, and then he shows everybody the boomstick. That's how you are, but like with steroids.
Yeah, it's
the whole game.
It's pretty awesome. Tight. I don't think it's a game of the year contender, but it's cool. Now I'm going to bring up something. Here's a story that I got kind of pissy about.
Okay.
And we'll take Royce's take on this because I don't get fucked up on race swapping if that person's race is not integral to the character.
Sure.
Right? If it's not, I don't really care. There are some iconic designs of characters that probably should not be breached because they are so iconic, right? Even if it's that person playing that character, maybe you need to stay in the same lane of the aesthetic of the character. But for the most part, a lot of these characters that are being portrayed on the screen on TV shows are almost bigger than the person playing them, like a Batman, like a Superman, right? Now, I know he's not as big as everyone else, but Legendary, who Christopher Nolan works with Legendary, incredible, right? They have incredible movies. They are making a Street Fighter movie. And if it's at Legendary, it makes me feel in my bones and my insides, Royce, that maybe this will be done right, right?
I don't know how you improve upon the
what was it?
Raul
Julia,
as M. Bison.
Yeah,
that's a classic.
And Jean-Claude Van
Guile,
he played Guile.
That's right.
As a
Americans together we fight.
As an American, Air Force like captain.
How do you like this sonic boom?
Anyways, so they are making a Street Fighter movie, and they're tagging the people that are in contention to play Akuma. Right now, the lore is this: Ryu's Goken, who is Ryu's like sensei, his master is sensei. His brother, Akuma. Okay, they had beef. And it's not known if one killed the other, whatever, but he's being overtaken by the Dark Hado. It's pretty rad over here.
Yeah, it's pretty rad, you know.
It's pretty rad.
You get your own special move set, and people have to unlock you to play you. It's very cool.
So they're saying that Jason Momoa is being tagged to play Akuma, which I could see because aesthetically, okay.
I don't want to ruin this for you, but I have no idea who Akuma is.
Okay,
because so my Street Fighter knowledge extends to like the original 8 players, right? Or 8 characters.
Yes.
Ken and Ryu.
Yep.
Chun-Li.
Correct.
Who's a sumo guy?
E Honda.
Yeah. Guile.
Honda.
Dasami, the Indian guy with the stretchy arms.
Yeah. The yoga master.
Yeah. Am I forgetting one?
And the
Russian, Zangief.
Zangief.
And then the green
Guile,
guy
Blanca.
from Brazil.
Blanca.
That's Blanca. Yeah,
Blanca.
Blanca.
Okay, so this is Akuma. Okay.
He was in later ones, I'm assuming. Okay.
So like, but in the whole like FGC, he's iconic, right? I don't know why I'm getting so fucked up because I love Jason Momoa. I think he could do whatever he wants.
All love
and
Jason
I'm going to
Momoa.
show up for the guy because I like him.
It's because you're very protective of Street Fighter.
I'm just like, dude, he's like, not Japanese, and it's fucking me up because I'm like, that's not lore accurate. Like, let's not make the same mistake again, guys. Right? Like, if we're looking at the first one, I actually kind of liked Raul Julia as in Bison. I was into that. And I love Jean-Claude Van Damme. A French dude with a clear French accent playing Guile. Like, let's not go down the same road. Let's like, and here's my whole argument. Whatever they do, I'm sure it's going to be to the best of their ability. However, the whole thing about Street Fighter is like, it is very like geographically and ethnically based. Like, you are like the white dude from the United States. You're the Japanese fighter from Japan. I'm the, it's like you represent your region, right? Like your people. Dalzim's the Indian guy that somehow does yoga but has skulls around his neck. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Question.
Yes.
Because there is a boxing American who is African American.
Yeah, Balrog.
Yeah.
Well,
do you ask Michael B. Jordan to be Creed?
I'd be fine with Michael B. Jordan.
That would be kind of funny. That'd be kind of cool.
We are Michael B. Jordan stands except for someone I know.
He's like, I'm a Michael B. out of this movie.
Yeah, he's the same person all the time. How does nobody put this together? There is no difference between Killmonger and Creed as far as him, the way he
portrays it.
Just like the...
What about the Smokestack twins?
Even there, in that, it's just this always perpetual like chip on the shoulder, potential for violence at any given moment. So
do you feel like he's just playing the same character over and over again?
Yes, he's in danger of becoming Black Jack Nicholson.
That's a strong take. You got to look back and look.
I know, but would that be the worst thing ever? To be Jack Nicholson? Like, oh no, my career's Jack Nicholson? Damn.
Yeah, but he had to do like such a body of work to get to that point. But by the end, I mean, you're watching, what was that great one he did? Departed. Right?
Yeah.
He was, at that point, he had just thrown away playing a character.
Right.
They just give him a script without any character treatment whatsoever. And they're like, you're just you.
Right.
You say these words.
It is the Nick Cage effect. It's like, here's a script.
Even Nick. Okay. So yes, but he's still trying some different stuff. What was that? It was not that good. Long Legs.
Oh yeah. I didn't see
Long Legs. He was gross. He was creepy.
He was disgusting.
Sure. Yeah.
But he wasn't, at least he wasn't.
He was weird. It was like if Nick Cage was on ayahuasca after watching a horror film dialed up to 15. It was weird.
Was it?
It was weird. Yeah. No, he was a weirdo for sure.
What's your whole thought? And I know you're a business owner, so we can cut this out if you don't want to say. But what's your whole thing about like the race swapping of characters?
Well, I mean, we've talked about this before. I have no problem with it if it doesn't affect the narrative. Okay, so if we're talking about race swapping, then we're talking about like established IPs, right? And then you're either remaking it or doing a sequel, and then you're switching the genre. If it doesn't hurt what's come before or hurt what storylines are coming next that people know, who cares? Everybody. Rachel Zegler, the Snow White, right?
Yeah.
I guess she's pissed everybody off. The movie suffered because of it. But the fact that she was not like a pasty white girl with dark, who cares?
Yeah, that didn't bother me.
Who cares? I don't know what vitriol she spewed on the internet.
She went kind of hard.
So,
but I mean, like and even then, I just was uninterested in the movie as is, and the bullshit she was saying, I was like, who cares? Right? Because it's not made for me, so I don't care. It's like the Black Little Mermaid situation. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, what does that have to do with anything?
And what does it matter anyways?
Yeah. What does it affect?
Exactly. Right. Who gives a fuck? Yeah. But when we're talking about the rumors going around that Magneto is potentially going to be played by Denzel Washington, I'm like, hold the fucking phone. We've talked about this. Charles Xavier is just like a white dude, right? You could have Denzel play Charles, whatever. Magneto is a survivor of the Holocaust, and what makes he's a Austrian Jew survivor of the Holocaust, and what makes his character interesting is that the persecution he faced during the Holocaust, he adopts the same moral outlook of superiority over other people. That's what makes him an interesting character. To take that from that character is a dumb fucking move. And like, that is intrinsic to that character.
Yeah, you just make him a black Jew.
And also,
that he survived the Holocaust.
There
you go.
There are black Jews, though.
No, there are.
Yeah, Magneto.
Oh, yeah, Magneto.
Now.
Yeah. Uncut Gems told me about the black Jews.
Why can't they just call Michael Fassbender back? Like,
buddy,
he was an incredible Magneto.
It's time for a new day and age of Marvel.
I get that.
It really is.
No, I can get all that. But the two Magnetos we've had in live action for the flaws of the X-Men movies have been fantastic. Yeah, Magneto's been like the one saving grace of those movies.
They're going to bring them back for Doomsday and Secret Wars, and then they're going to reboot the whole thing, and I think that's a good move. They need something new and fresh. They sat and waited way too long to launch Fantastic Four and X-Men. That's going to be the future of the MCU. Kind of need to let go of like the tired characters, the tired projects. They've had their moment. Let's move on to something new. And surprise, surprise, they delayed Secret Wars. They delayed Doomsday.
To December 2026. 2026.
And look, I'm okay with it if they're just doing it right. If they need to bake it up and cook it good,
yes, but let's
cook it good.
But I also don't want to see a trailer until August of next year.
Yeah, dude. I don't need to see all that hype right now.
No, I really don't.
Do you think we get a Doctor Doom RDJ or a Doctor Doom little teaser at Fantastic Four?
We get a I hate you, Pedro Pascal.
I hate you 3000.
I hope so.
I love that so much. Well, I was just thinking about that the other day, like randomly. You know, when you think about like shit randomly.
The random goofs.
I started fucking dumb laughing to myself, like, oh, I hate you 3000.
It would be funny. Like if they just, and like, I get it. This is why you shouldn't let fans decide things, right? Like you should listen to fans to get feedback.
Right.
We should, at the end of the day, go with people like who you've already set up with. If it fails, it fails, whatever. But if they bring back like Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom, right? And like he meets Tom Holland's Spider-Man, they should have him be like, I hate you, Spider-Man. I hate you 3000. They should do it.
They should.
Or like you could do it with like Pepper. Like she hits him or something.
Right.
I hate you 3000 or something. Like, Tony would never.
Any other stories you want to go over?
Yeah, let's just go over the big quick one. Just quick hot take. Crunchyroll's anime of the year, Solo Leveling. It's fun. No depth to it.
Hey, since we're talking anime, and I know you're not the biggest anime stan. No, not at all. But I hate the fact that I love Guilty Gear Dual Riders as much as I do.
It's your Guilty Gear pleasure. It's your Guilty Gear pleasure.
It's so stupid, but I love it because the lore of Guilty Gear is, imagine something that everything is just supposed to be as cool as it could possibly be. Like everything is just built around the idea of being so fucking cool. Like their newest character has this big ass gun that's also like a motorcycle, like a futuristic motorcycle. That's a gun that she uses to fight, and then breaks it open and has, what is it called? Thunderbringer, like an actual fucking sword.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense. Her hair grows with energy and she fucking flies around. It's tight. Everything is just supposed to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
It is not that great of an anime.
No.
But man, do I love eating that shit up. I'm just like...
And Solo Leveling, super fun. Clearly the fans' most favorite anime of the last year, season 1 and 2, because they all got released within 12 months, so it counted.
Right.
It did not have the emotional depth of a Free Rin. It didn't have the world building of a Dungeon Meshi. It didn't, by any means, have the fun dynamic of characters
Royce
like
is so lost
a Dan
right
to Dan. So I just mean
I just tuned out.
So I mean, if you want to make the Crunchyroll Awards very prestigious, because you do this whole ceremony in Japan,
right?
Have a fan award, and then have your normal awards. Because the fan award is always going to be your Demon Slayers. It's always going to be your My Heroes. It's always going to be your Shonen.
Three,
yeah, right? So then let's have actual anime critics critique.
Right. Really quick, since we're here, I'll ask Royce, what is your biggest guilty pleasure that you know is trash, but you still go for it? When it comes to the media space, you're like, this is bullshit. This is not good, but I love it.
Oh, man. Guilty pleasure?
You a reality show guy?
No, I'm not. It actively...
You're looking like a liar.
Bothers. No, I'm not. I don't like... All reality shows seem to be...
Same formula.
Drumming up for the sake of drama. Mm. I'm not a fan of the drama. So, Kitchen Nightmares, right?
Oh,
Gordon Ramsay. I love the American version is dog shit. If you watch the original BBC version, he was actually going into these places and trying to help them.
Right.
Like trying to get them to be relevant, to elevate their food, and to save them financially. Then it turns into an American production.
Right.
And it just becomes like the food version of what's John Taffer's one? Bar Rescue?
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm going to go in and I'm going to spy. I'm going to spy on them,
you're
right?
You're going to have like a
and then
disguise
you're always going to find the most obtuse, stubborn owner.
Egregious
and you've got to break them down like it's day one of boot camp.
Dude, I love early season Kitchen Nightmares.
And then they're like, no, there's nothing wrong. And they walk in the walk-in refrigerator and they're scooping slime out of the corner. This is disgusting.
The best line
should be reported.
The best line of all time in that show is, the freshest thing in this playpen kitchen is the pigeon. And there's a pigeon walking through the kitchen.
That is a pretty good line. That is a good line.
I don't like drama for the drama's sake. The moral of the story is, not a big fan of reality TV. You know what? Honestly, I don't know what I would consider a guilty pleasure. Because
what's like a show that is bad, but you just go for? It
implies that I would be guilty for watching it. And if anybody knows me, I'm like, I like what I like. Yeah. You know what I mean? We're on a nerd news show. I have stuff that is guilty pleasure, but it fits right into this entire segment.
The problem is, Drew, he's got walls. We got to break.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get him on some trash. Okay, or maybe an anime. Yeah. Be like, dude, you need to watch this anime to.
Nothing will make you feel. Nothing will make you feel like you're doing something wrong, like just starting anime.
As an adult with children, too.
Yeah.
And like the only one I did was, Akira?
Akira.
If I butchered it, I apologize to anybody that's mad. But I will say that two of probably the best storylines and best written shows in recent years have been Arcane and Blue Eye Samurai.
Fuck yeah. I didn't watch Blue Eye Samurai.
It's unbelievable.
Is it?
It's unbelievable.
And I'd even throw Invincible in there.
Is Invincible? I just kind of feel like those were I guess Arcane is kind of an adaptation in a weird way.
Yeah,
it is. It's based on something, but it's totally its
goddamn
own
Arcane's
thing.
so fucking good. It's so goddamn great, dude.
The storytelling there is just, it's a cut above anything anybody else is doing.
I remember telling him about Arcane, and you took a few months to get to it.
Yeah,
right?
I waited about half a year and then got into it and then just went
and you're
all
like,
the way through.
You know, that is a good example. Arcane is actually a good example because I remember seeing all the hype and I was like, it can't be that fucking good. It's like League of Legends stands coming out being like, League of Legends.
Right, and I don't play video games, right? So when people are talking about that, I'm like,
yeah.
Well,
yeah,
it's
you
so
can have
funny too because even the video game players like, don't play this game. Trust me, you're gonna hate it. Just enjoy the show. Yeah, just enjoy the show.
You watch the first 3 episodes of Arcane, and then it does that time skip, and you're like, "Holy shit!"
Well, and you talk about world building too. I mean, I not knowing anything from like the video game settings or whatever. They build out this great like steampunk oligarchy versus the street urchins.
Right.
Class warfare. It's so well done without an insane amount of exposition to tell you. Like they don't have to spell it out. Very much like
spoon feed
John Wick. Like you understand kind of the rules of the underground assassin world. Yeah. But they don't explain it to you. It's just so well done.
That's good storytelling
and great world building that you don't have to have it crammed down your throat.
Show me, don't tell me. Yeah. That's good world building. So with that, Elliot, we're going to take a little break and we're going to come back and do sports. We're going to end it up.
Well, we got one more thing.
We will talk
from the Island Boys.
Yes, we will. Island Boys.
Island Boys.
That's coming up next. Big shout out to Groggs Traditional Irish Pub at the northeast corner of Willow and Nees. Not only do they house the Do Over podcast for taps and takes, but they invited us to go blow it up on St. Patrick's Day live on scene. Now that that's done, it's easing us into summer and it gets hella hot here in the Central Valley. Groggs prides themselves on being the coldest drinking establishment in the Central Valley. Literally go down there, get a nice cold pickleback, get a nice cold Guinness, throw it back and leech off that free AC, son. Support Groggs because they support the Do Over podcast. You know, one thing I will point out.
What's that?
It's a bazillion degrees outside, but it's nice and cool in Groggs, baby. Groggs, where they keep it cool just for you.
They really do. They really keep it so cool that it just seems like my beer went translucent. It's crazy.
And we have Royce, the man, with us right now.
It looks like his beer did too. It's crazy. There must be a wizard in here.
Before we get onto the sports, there's a couple little things that we got to talk about. One, Royce went on a fucking epic rant about the Halo series because he was, and this happens all the time when you're behind a mic. Like you'll always look back and be like, oh wait, that thing.
Yeah. Right? So when we were comparing Last of Us game to show, and I was like, oh, I don't know anything about that. Everything's a surprise to me. And then I realized, oh, I totally did that with the Halo, because I love Halo. And
Halo has
he likes the lore of Halo.
Well, Halo
like
has
a story.
I think Halo has a special place in all of our hearts.
Right.
Halo 1 through 3, I'm with you on this, really was just a huge part of video game culture. And like growing up for me, it was used to get 2 Xbox, do the system link thing. And
LAN party.
Yeah.
All day.
And you would just screen snipe your buddies. Be like, no,
I'm not looking at your screen.
I'm not looking at you as you shoot a rocket from 50 yards out. Halo was the best. And
okay. See, therein lies the problem. Is you said Halo was the best. When I say I love Halo, I mean, I was playing with my friends less than 18 hours ago.
Bless your heart.
So
keeping the tradition alive.
I don't play campaigns. Playing by myself is boring. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I play the first 3 campaigns and stuff like that.
Those are the ones you needed.
Before kids, you have time.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like social hour is group text. You know what I mean? Who wants to battle? Right. And we'll all hop on. I got buddies stationed in Texas and and everybody will hop on and we'll talk about our day and kill people. And
are you playing Infinite?
It. Yeah.
I liked Infinite. Everyone was shitting on it. I'm like, I thought it was hella fun.
It was fun for a minute.
I had a lot of fun with
We went back and turned on Halo 5 like last week.
No way.
Just to ground pound.
Just to see.
It was so much fun.
So just know that from a man that loves the Halo lore and can be so disappointed by the Halo show because it was trash, dude. It was bad.
Well, and it's so funny because like a year later they bring out Twisted Metal,
Which is like surprisingly okay.
Which is like people really enjoyed. And it's like, how did that succeed when Halo was such a cowabunga?
Dude, again, it's mismanagement of the property. When you get people that do video game adaptations and they say some shit like, we're not even going to play the video game, and then they do it, you're going to fucking fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest scare for Elden Ring.
Before we get to sports. Hear this shit.
Okay, so the biggest story that we haven't talked about is Lilo and Stitch live action. I am in the firm believer that live action adaptations are a poison, but they make billions of dollars.
Lots of money.
So, it doesn't matter what I think. Get made. Yeah, exactly. So Lilo and Stitch dominate, and I mean dominated.
And the first trailers look pretty good.
Stitch looked good. Stitch looked good, right? It is so far off of the original's messaging.
But so before you get into the story, the original's messaging on that cartoon was sacrifices for family. What you have to put yourself through because family together is what it needs to be. You don't want to break up the family. So if you have to sacrifice everything for family, you do that.
It's very much it's very much Fast and Furious-esque in that regard. You can get through anything with family. Live action said you can get through anything when you give up your child daughter or your child sister
to the foster care system.
Yes.
So somehow it went from the original movie, the daughter watches her sister.
Yes. Okay? Nani watches Lilo.
Yeah. And, it ends with them staying together. In the live action adaptation, she gives Lilo up to one of her friends is moms.
Yeah. So the guy
she
that
could go be a marine biologist
in Nebraska.
It tracks. I don't know. I probably won't see it. What am I talking about? I have a 5 and a 4-year-old. Of course I'll see it when it gets to Disney Plus.
Yeah. And so
you don't even tell them that it's out. You're like, there's no new movies.
No.
And so it does this huge disservice to, and if you've watched the interviews of the director and the people that have worked on this movie, they all turn out weird. The interviews are always we tried and we wanted either you tried or you didn't want to, we tried putting the one-eyed alien in the dressing thing, but it just didn't work out. We tried. Here's a sketch. Okay, you could have done it.
I don't. It's just weird because when we always, and we're going to have this conversation a lot because this is happening a lot. Adaptations, reimagining, reboots, whatever. This happens just naturally. Changes for change's sake without narrative purpose is stupid. That's a dumb change. Because it takes the whole messaging of the first movie and just shits on it.
It destroys the whole premise of the movie itself.
The whole thing is about family. All right. So it's dumb. I don't think this is a girl bossing, you go girl boss, you go do your, I don't think it's that. It's none of that. It's just change for change's sake. Right. And we were talking off air about dude, the story's written. Just do the story beat by beat and you'll have a winner. If you're struggling, go back to the source material and just go.
You did that with Lion King. You did it with Aladdin. You did it with not so much Snow White, but I mean and you're going to make $1 billion anyway.
I want to say that I agree with you on the live action adaptations on all of them, except for Jon Favreau's Jungle Book. It was, that movie was amazing.
Was it?
I feel like
I thought it was fine. I mean, anything Bill Murray, I support.
It's so good. It's well good, done. I mean, I grew up with,
Jungle Book.
Maybe most of you, I actually had not just a VHS, I had a beta.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And the Disney movies came in those weird oversized cases.
You like
plastic.
You like
a CD book.
Yeah.
You like listening to Christopher Walken sing. I'm the orangutan king.
Scarlett Johansson is
she's Snake.
The Snake.
It's slithering Johansson.
Bill Murray is Baloo. I mean, which I thought it was fantastic. And to what you're saying, change for the change sake. It's everybody wants to have their own spin, their own take on everything. And I get it, but when you're trying to shove your social movement down my throat and you're making changes to an established
that
IP,
hurts it.
for no other reason than to get your crusade across.
Yeah.
Issues.
And we'll end on this.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you 2 examples. All right. 1, someone having a commentary about something, but using it to make an excellent narrative reason, like narrative reasoning. The sequel to Watchmen on HBO.
Perfect.
Fucking excellent. It is a goddamn masterpiece. And that did have a social commentary in it, but it all worked when you go to let's save this over, let's have a good story that works, that's done well, but because this is your main focus, you lose it. The Acolyte.
Yeah.
The Acolyte could have been insanely great, but because they focused on something so much and the pacing was so off, the story struggled.
Well, and also
Watchmen, though, fucking excellent.
Well, and also
100.
The actresses and actors for Acolyte just did not do it any favors.
It was
in
the
their,
director.
in their pressers.
And here's the thing, man. I think we got to move on to sports, but
Yeah.
I am going to say this. I think you're going to find a lot more contracts with these big studios for how what people say publicly, because you're getting a lot of people going like, we don't even give a shit about the source material. We're going to do this, and you're getting negative press right off the bat. It's so easy to do a presser on a movie that you're going to be in. We loved making it. It's awesome.
Hey,
Can't wait for you to see it.
Loved everybody I worked with. Can't wait for you to see it.
It's easy as that.
Easiest thing
But then
ever.
when you have directors working on Star Wars saying like, we don't care about what George Lucas made. We're going to do this because this is what Matt. It's like, dude, you can't.
You've
why are
already
you starting
lost.
off with a bad
You've
foot?
already pissed off almost everybody.
yeah,
Who are you going
you're
for? What
already
new
going-
Star
yeah.
Wars fans
Yeah.
are you going to drum up
Yeah.
out of nowhere?
And legit, this has been a Disney because Marvel and Star Wars all underneath Lucasfilm. Dude, this has been a losing strategy, and they're finally seeing that this is going to lose. You are going to lose this way. Get back to being excited and just making good shit and just be positive. And I'm with you. I'm a very opinionated person, but I'm not so much of a fucking Neanderthal that I can't watch something and learn or look at a story that's from a different point of view and enjoy it. I can, but it needs to be done right. Like if it's a bad movie or bad show, it's just bad. And that is the ultimate kind of MacGuffin for all of these people that get any criticism for anything that they do, because they'll be like, oh, well, they're just like racist white dudes. No, you made a shitty show. That's what
The product's bad
It's
at the end of the day.
Anyway, we got to move on to sports because we got the patrons rolling in and we're still recording. So give me the big 5-minute sports rundown.
All right. The NBA playoffs are underway, and now they're updated because we had an extra day.
You guys are good.
Yeah. We're going to bring you on air in a second, but other than that,
I got to take
Groggs.
this real fast.
Okay, yeah.
that's fine. Whatever, man. We didn't want to talk to you anyway, Royce.
He's a successful business owner and he has patrons coming in the bar. So we got to move.
It's fine. All right. NBA playoffs are underway. The Knicks, they went down 0-2 at home. They come back and win game 3. So you're thinking, hey,
I'm telling you, the
how
Knicks are
about
going to do it.
how about them Knicks, right? New York. Yeah, they blew game 4. So now they're down 3-1.
That's not good.
Minnesota, down 0-2, win by like 50 against OKC. And you're thinking, hey, we got ourselves a series.
We're on the up and up.
No, SGA and the Thunder steal game 4, so they're up 3-1. So we're probably going to get Thunder and Pacers, which for small markets, that's fantastic because they've never won titles. And when you have Midwest teams winning, that's cool for the sport. However, when big markets are great, that's when the sport really shines.
Right.
Like in New York, a Boston, and LA. Not the Clippers, though, the Lakers, because nobody's a Clipper fan. Sorry, Eddie. Put a sad Eddie teardrop right there.
Right here. Edward Rouse.
Yeah, put his face and then like a little tear or
And
we
like a
love
little
you.
chain.
Yeah,
Like a
for no
chain,
extra pay. We love you. Anyway, so yeah, it looks like we're getting Thunder's Pacers, which fine. The playoffs have been great all year. Now it's just kind of like, most people are kind of over it now. Now we have the NHL. Florida Panthers are 1 game away from heading back to the Stanley Cup, as well as Edmonton. They're up 3-1 on Dallas now. So it looks like we're gonna get a rematch of last year.
The battle of the boobs, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what it is.
I know. They're trying to see who's the breast of them all.
And I am here for that.
I
I
know
need to do a lot of research.
I know you are.
Into that.
Some serious critical research.
Yes.
Tittle research. Next, we have a little bit of WWE news because we get a lot of people that ask for it.
Yeah.
And
a surprisingly large amount of people.
Because it's kind of cool again. Like, WWE goes in waves. It was like the Attitude Era, cool.
Yeah.
Ruthless Aggression, cool, but kind of dwindling, you know? And then it went to the PC era and you're like, eh. And now it's kind of getting back to like the cool era again.
Right.
Not nearly as cool as like Ruthless Aggression. Edge did a porno. like that was crazy.
Yeah, it was
like that
cool.
was great.
Yeah.
And then Do-Rag McMahon was next. What up, G's? he
Dude, on paper, if you describe some of the setups, dude, just like Crime Time, you talk with Crime Time, and you can just sit there and laugh, dude.
And we'll move on. Crime Time's like a Crime Time video popped up on my feed the other day. It was like a Crime Time shout out, and it was them doing their thing and like stealing the Domino Brothers car. I was like, these were my goats, man. R.I.P. Shad. But yeah, John Cena's continuing his heel run, and he's just not a heel. And we have to call it what it is. I get it. He wanted to try something different, and some of the matches he's written and done over his just incredible career in WWE have been fantastic and all-timers. This just feels, it's just not him.
Right.
It's just not him. And if he was doing the hustle, loyalty, respect thing like he used to, it'd probably be better, well received. And also, I don't know who they're going to use him to retire with, because he just beat Randy Orton, so that beef is squashed. And Randy Orton was one of his best rivals. Edge can't wrestle anymore. Not really, because of his back.
We all know it's going to be The Rock. It has to be The Rock.
But they just haven't really set anything up.
As far as like star power is concerned, they're both on the top.
But he's also retired.
I know, but they're still, they are equally, I wouldn't say equal. I think obviously Dwayne The Rock Johnson is probably more of a star than John Cena
He'll always be the icon.
However, they're both on that level.
Right.
So it has to be someone that's like that in order to take him out.
I get you, but I mean, like, when Shawn Michaels retired, it was The Undertaker, right? And those were two of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time, right? Their 24-25 match. So it just feels like you need something like that. I think WrestleMania is the only way to retire, but he'll probably retire at SummerSlam, like we've talked about. Last story, racing, and that is the Indy 500, which, okay, cool. Alex Palou, congratulations. You win the Indy 500. It's one of the most watched Indy 500 all time. Cool, bro. We're over it.
Yeah.
The real star is the Wiener 500. Because as of last...
Sounds like date night. Sorry.
You know, brother. It's about to sound even more like it, because the Slaw Dog was the winner of the first ever Wiener 500 in Indianapolis. The Slaw Dog Wiener Mobile was awarded the Borg Wiener Trophy and the Weenie Wraith.
I just hope that when they're racing all these hot dog carts, that they're like throwing hot dogs at the crowd and shit.
They're
like a hot dog gun, just all.
Well, and it went down to the wire.
Yeah.
It was literally like a photo finish at the end. But that Slaw Dog took the lead and never gave it back and got the win. So Wienermobile Racing stock is at an all-time high.
And that's it.
There you go. There's your sports.
You go. Taps and takes. Round of applause for Royce.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm like coming in to your bar.
Yeah.
your pub.
I mean, I was already here. I just
Thank you.
Locked in the office.
Yeah,
Thank you for the free blood orange. It was very good.
I do say next time we have Royce on, I want you to bring some of your favorite nerd news stories for the week.
Oh, don't tempt me.
No,
tell me with a good time.
I'm telling you.
No, I already wrote down in my notes here. Where is it? Right here. Orc, put the camera on me and start to muddle noise and black and white when they start talking about Stephen King books. Because I'm just like,
Stephen King.
No idea.
Great author.
No idea what's going on.
You're high. Anyways, go to Groggs, traditional Irish pub.
They're here.
It is the northeast corner of Willow Knees. Come and get some food. They're going to get some food.
Get some beers.
And
she's here.
69 degrees in here right now.
Oh, and
guess what? On Saturday, when it's 104, 69 degrees in here.
It's going to be nice and cool.
It's going to be a nice time.
And that's something that Groggs prides themselves on. So if you don't have quick access to a pool, screw it. Even if you do, come to Groggs. Get yourself some Guinness, some JMO, and some food. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Elliott, where can people find us?
You can find us at the end of a cord, preferably at an outlet, because that's where most of my actions take place. Or you can find me on Instagram at Elliott. No, it's Elliott Cams. Don't Don't listen to that.
Yeah.
And also, you can find me on Instagram at ElliottJams13 or at twitch.tv/Do-Over Podcast.
Twitch.tv/The Do-Over Podcast. We're probably recording right now. If you are watching this day of release,
subscribe.
And we have a Monday, Wednesday, Friday release schedule. So stay close. Subscribing's free. Just click on that button. And until next week, gotta go. Love you. Bye.
Bye.